There is a lot of talk in the news right now about the increase of aggression in Canadian workplaces, that more and more Canadian employees are reporting that they're seeing and experiencing more incidents of aggression in the workplace. I want to read a little bit from my new book, and I just want to talk about this for a second. So I'll start with a story. Those of you who follow my feed have heard this story before, so I'm just going to share it one more time. The boss stormed into the main area of the building and called for an impromptu meeting. On the whiteboard, he drew a fish tank, and some fish. What is this? He demanded. Someone raised a tentative hand. Fish tank? Yes, he yelled. Then he drew a bottom feeder fish. What is that? Someone else raised a hand. Bottom feeder? Yes, he yelled again. That's what you all are. You're all bottom feeders. All you do is float around and focus on the S word. Now, aggression in the workplace can manifest like my boss's shouty object lesson. Sometimes it shows up as microaggressions, passive-aggressive nonverbals such as eye rolling, heavy sighing, backhanded compliments, or forgetting to send the memo. Yelling, screaming, verbal aggression, nonverbal aggression, things like standing too close, an intimidating stance, closed off body language, gritted teeth, or scowling faces are, in some ways, easier to deal with than the subtler behaviors. Passive-aggressive behaviors can often be missed by bystanders. This is why bullies get ahead in the workplace, y'all. Passive-aggressive behaviors can often be missed by bystanders, but they strike at the heart of the targets. Forgetting to send the memo could be misconstrued as an honest mistake. The target calling out the microaggressions might end up being labeled as the whiny one. So these are some of the things that are happening in the workplace that are contributing to occupational stress injury, anxiety, depression, people taking time off from work. Now, if I go back to my shouty boss, here's the thing. Berating staff is a surefire way to kill morale, to douse the flames of passion, and to ensure that people will only do the bare minimum to get paid. 21st century enlightened leaders know that they can ignite passion and inspire loyalty by asking questions, providing answers when people need help, coaching and encouraging the team, and leading with empathy rather than anger or aggression. Failure to do so, in my opinion, is the #1 contributor to a long-standing phenomenon now dubbed, you heard it and you guessed it, quiet quitting. I think it's important for us to understand what is contributing to these increases of perceived aggression in the workplace. Sometimes aggression is not the pushing, the hitting, the yelling, the screaming. Sometimes it's those quiet, subtle behaviors, right? Those subtle behaviors that are very targeted and directed to specific individuals that anyone on the surface would assume, oh, that's just their personality. Oh, they didn't mean anything by it. You're making too much of it, whatever. But the target knows. The target knows this is something that is being directed specifically at me because it's hitting those soft spots inside of me, and the other person knows it. So when we see these types of behaviors happening, too often it is the person who is the aggressor who ends up staying in the job. The person who is the target of this passive aggressive, subtle bullying behavior is the one who ends up leaving. We're seeing new information coming out in the news about quiet firing. The new term, I just read it yesterday. Quiet firing is what happens when the person who is the target of this harassment and this subversive bullying says, it's enough, I quit. So what they're saying is that bullies are using this as a way to get rid of the people that they don't like by harassing them out of the company. We cannot allow this to continue, y'all. We cannot allow this to continue. This is costing Canadian employers trillions of dollars in recruiting, hiring new staff, training them, buyouts, lawsuits. Enough. Are you ready to transform your workplace? Send me a DM and let's talk.